Welcome to this explainer. Look, if you've been uploading content for weeks or honestly maybe even months and you're just sitting there staring at a screen with barely any views, I see you. It is deeply, deeply frustrating. You pour your heart and soul into your work, and when the numbers just refuse to move, it feels like there's this massive, invisible wall standing right in your way. Well, today we're going to tear down that wall. We're going to dive right in and look at what is actually happening behind the scenes.
Section 1. The Great Algorithm Myth. Blaming the system. You know, when we hit that wall of low views, it is just so incredibly easy to blame the platform. It's almost human nature, right? And that leads us straight to the absolute most debated, obsessed over question in the entire creator world. How do you beat the algorithm? But here is the secret. Asking this is literally the biggest mistake you can make.
Because the answer is simply, you can't. You absolutely cannot beat it. And okay, I know that sounds like terrible news right off the bat, but I'm actually saying this with total enthusiasm. Because understanding this harsh reality completely shatters all those stressful, preconceived notions you might have. It frees you up to totally reset your mindset about how content discovery actually works.
And that brings us to the core paradigm shift of our whole explainer today. The algorithm doesn't decide what goes viral, people do. Think of it this way, the algorithm is not a bouncer at a club, it's a mirror. It simply watches what human beings do and then reacts to their behavior. It has zero opinions. It has no personal biases against your specific channel. It only reflects human interest.
Section 2. How the test actually works. Filtering the flood.
To put this into perspective, every single minute, thousands of new uploads are flooding onto the platform. It's a massive amount of data. To handle that unending flood, the system runs a really simple three-step test. Step 1, it takes your freshly uploaded content and shows it to a small, highly targeted group of interested viewers. Step 2, it sits back and watches their human behavior very, very closely. And Step 3, based entirely on how those humans react, it either expands your reach or it slows it down.
So what exactly are those human reactions it's looking for? It's asking questions like, did they click? Did they keep watching? Did they like, comment, or share? Did they binge another one of your uploads right after? These are not just arbitrary lines of code. These are direct measurements of human enjoyment. If the answers are mostly yes, congratulations, you get a larger audience. If it's no, well, the test ends.
So your ultimate goal has to change. You have to stop asking how to game a machine, and you really need to start asking the real question, how do I make people love my videos? If you solve for the human, you automatically solve for the algorithm. It is honestly that beautifully simple.
Section 3. Earning that first click. Titles and thumbnails.
Now, stating the obvious here, but people absolutely cannot fall in love with content they never click on. You have to earn that entry, and you do it through teamwork. Your thumbnail's job is to spark intense visual curiosity. It shouldn't explain the whole story, it should make them wonder. Then, your title's job is to close the deal by promising deep value. Together, they capture the human mind.
Section 4. Keeping your viewers hooked. Surviving the click.
Okay, so you've successfully survived the click. Awesome. But now you face the most dangerous part of the whole journey, those critical first few seconds where a viewer immediately decides to stay or bounce. To survive this, you have to hook them aggressively. Skip those long, self-indulgent intros. Actually, scratch that. Just delete them entirely. Nobody cares yet. Get straight to the point. Start with a surprising fact. Ask a really intriguing question or make a bold statement. You have to prove to them instantly that they made the right choice by clicking.
And once they're hooked, you've got to keep that momentum going. Every single section has to lead naturally to the next. Cut out those unnecessary pauses. Change up your visuals regularly, drive the pace with music and sound effects, throw in some animations, and wrap the whole shebang in compelling storytelling. You need to maintain a rapid-fire grip on their attention so they literally forget they even have the option to click away.
It all comes down to an equation that is beautifully simple. Watch time equals a recommendation signal. The longer you keep real people hooked, the absolute strongest signal you send back to the system. You are essentially grabbing a megaphone and shouting, hey, this content is amazing, push it to more people. High watch time is the ultimate proof of human satisfaction. Section 5. The long game for growth. Building consistency.
All right, let's zoom out a bit. We need to move away from just praying for a random viral hit and focus on a resilient channel. A consistent strategy, say producing one great upload a week focused on one very clear topic like AI or finance or history, is incredibly powerful.
Why? Because it teaches the system exactly who your audience is. Now, contrast that with uploading completely randomly and chasing every passing trend. That just confuses the system. And guess what? A confused system stops recommending your work.
We also need to flip the script on a really common myth. The myth is that having a ton of subscribers automatically makes your content go viral. But the reality? Great content earns subscribers. A channel with 10,000 subscribers can completely flop and get only a few hundred views if what they post is boring. Meanwhile, a brand new channel with absolutely 0 subscribers can reach millions if they put out something that genuinely thrills people.
So, to consistently make thrilling content, you need to become an active student of human psychology. Study successful creators, but please, do not just blindly copy them. Analytically dissect their work. Ask yourself, how do they start? How do they inject curiosity? How do they pace their edits to keep interest? How do they wrap up the ending? You are literally studying the mechanics of human attention.
Which brings our narrative full circle today with this incredible quote from our sources. That's not beating the algorithm, that's giving it exactly what it's designed to reward. One of your clicks stays, absolutely loves the experience, and comes back tomorrow for more. The system simply rewards that success.
So as you go back to planning your very next project, I want to leave you with one fundamental, provocative question to challenge everything you do moving forward. Ask yourself, are you trying to beat a machine or are you trying to entertain a human? Master the human, and the machine will follow. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I'll catch you in the next one.